Hi, it's Stephen here from Sound of a Nation Wave, and this is day 23 of the March Daily Draws. So as we close out the weekend and approach a new week, let's see what message we get. I'll be taking the first card from the Ostara Tarot, followed by an Oracle card from the Scenes of the Witch Ostara Oracles. Let's choose our first card and get the reading underway. Okay, here we go. And today we will go there. And our card today is the Chariot. This is interesting. My favorite card, the Chariot. And also, I feel that it's in line with what we've had the past few days, when we've had temperance, when we've had, things about controlling, keeping things in line, dealing with our inner selves, dealing with inner conflicts and keeping things in check, keeping things in balance from going off in different, stopping us going off in different directions. And the Chariot's very much like that, where we are literally the driver in the driving seat of our own journey. And we are the ones responsible by our choices, by our acts of will, that we have the ability to control how we move forward. We decide how we navigate the terrain in which we travel and how we keep ourselves disciplined and focused on reaching a certain destination. Even if the horses, which represent the different sides of ourselves, again, the different, want to go off in different directions, we have to rein them in and keep them on track to pull us forward. We have to work together instead of separately, where we go off and where parts of ourselves go off in different directions. So there's this sense of, again, this inner conflict, which will affect how we conduct ourselves outwardly. So in order to achieve what we want to achieve, we have to stay on track. We have to stay on focus and not stray off the road, as it were. And that is what the Chariot card to me is all about. It's staying on that track, staying on that road to where we want to be. And it's up to us to keep ourselves there, to be aware of when we're drifting a little, and just to, by our conscious will, by our intent, to move ourselves back on track. Yes, we will perhaps veer off track a little, one way or the other. That's part of that just happens. But we need to be aware enough to know when that's beginning to happen, so that we can check it and bring ourselves back on. So it's not necessarily, it's nothing to be overly concerned about. If we just something we need to be aware of, that there is a tendency perhaps for us to go off track a little. But if we know that, and we become vigilant and become more self-aware, and we can sense when we're veering off that track a little, then we just need to nudge ourselves back onto it. So, and that's the key, and that's what the Chariot card is saying to us, is that if we feel that we're veering off course, just by intention, recognize that you recognize what's happening, and then consciously bring yourself back on track. And that's it. And that's the key. But we need to keep going on track, to keep going with the strategy. I love it. It's like with a chessboard. So it's like keeping the strategy. and it's in line with the overall intentions. I like it's got, we're connected to the universe, we're connected to the plan, we're connected to the goal that we have for ourselves that we want to bring down into reality. And to do that, we need to stay on track, and that's what the Chariot card is about. And where there's a, particularly where there's a tendency for us to veer off in different directions and lose our focus. We've been hearing a lot about the need to maintain our focus, dealing with that inner conflict with the Five of Wands that we had. We had something else as well. We had the focus point of the Queen of Swords, and I'm sure there were other things as well. So it seems to be about dealing with things that could throw us off track or stop us moving forward, like with the Eight of Swords that we had about the thoughts in putting restrictions on us. And that's why it's important to realize that we can't let our minds be manipulating us but into wrong things and throwing us off course and stopping us moving forward by the things that we believe and say about ourselves. The Chariot that falls in with the Chariot in keeping things on track, not letting ourselves be thrown or distracted by negative thinking or wrong thinking, wrong perspective, keeping our eye on the prize and moving towards it with determination and focus. And I think that's what the Chariot card is here to say to us today. Just try and maintain the focus of what your intent is and keep things in line with that. And any sense of veering off one direction or another, just realize that's what's happening and bring it back into check get back on track. Okay, let's see which oracle card we get to go with that. Right, this is... That's a German word, but it does tell you what it means. It's Ostara, and I do know enough German to know that does indeed mean Easter egg tree. The Oster is the Easter, Eier is egg, and Baum is tree. So the Easter egg tree. We're coming up to Easter. We've just had Ostara, which is loosely connected, but they're different, of course. But there's a loose connection between them. And we've got the eggs growing on the tree. So we've got these branches here with the things growing, the eggs growing. And of course, eggs don't grow on trees, but this is like symbolic of growth. You mustn't forget to embrace the magic of community care. And we've got some flowers here as well. You must not forget to embrace the magic of community care. So it's like being part of a community, connection with others, supporting one another, keeping each other on track, maybe, being accountable. I'm not sure how that relates in, if I'm totally honest. Because we're primarily responsible ourselves for keeping ourselves on track. But we can be accountable to others too, I suppose, that will help us do that where necessary. And this abundance here that's growing with the eggs, the beginning, to me, these new beginnings are coming. And I feel that this is a time for all of us as a community of people to grow, to have new beginnings, and to have growth. That's something that we've been talking about, growth, But to do that, we need to keep things on track. We need to be rooted in the spot that we're going. We can't veer off. Yes, the branches are going out, but that's to different people. If it's representing the community, one branch will go off that direction, the other one will go off another direction. But we ourselves need to grow in the direction that we desire to grow. So we can share the same sustenance and growth. But our journey is going to be different to the others in the community of people. So, but the key here is to keep ourselves in check and on track for our destination. Okay, so that is today's message. I'll be back tomorrow with day 24. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.